And Ben Ferguson is laughing, but he's the type of person that's created this debt crisis.
You guys never cared about it when you were in charge. You had the House, Senate, and the White House. You guys exploded the national
Donald Trump is responsible.
Please run on
Donald Trump as an individual. Donald Trump as an individual is responsible for 27% of the U.S. debt.
Progressive host Adam Mockler appeared as a guest on Chris Cuomo's show for a short debate with Ben Ferguson, who is often described as one of the more vocal figures on the far right who frequently appears on programs like Cuomo's, and the discussion quickly turned into a heated exchange, setting the tone for a back and forth that reflected the wider political divide. And in this segment, we are going to look at parts of that debate between Ben Ferguson and Adam Mockler on Chris Cuomo's show, while also breaking down the key moments and adding some analysis along the way before going through it together.
So, let me start with you. When you look at the state of play back here at home going into the midterms, Ben, my theory is simple. It's about the economy, and the MAGA mandate is up for grabs, meaning who's going to fix America first. How worried are you about that?
I'm not worried about it at this point, and I'll tell you why. I think we're going to get out of what's happening in Iran pretty quick. I think there's this obsession with war should take 2 days. What we've been able to accomplish in this short amount of time is truly incredible with the military power we've used. And then the president understands more than anybody. He's not going to get anything done if he doesn't get back to the economy, lower gas prices quickly, and go back to what got him elected. He knows that. Democrats have already said, by the way, Conway, who's running for office in New York, said, elect me, and we're going to not only impeach Donald Trump if we win, we're going to impeach the vice president as well. They've already said what they're going to do. So the president knows what's at play here. I think we're going to get back to what matters here in this country. By the way, you can do two things at the same time. I think when you look at the stock market, we got 87% of the gains back that we had in the loss in the first day of this war. So that's already coming back. Gas prices are already going to drop because we see the price of oil coming down. And the secure border is number one with the American people. National security is number two in the polls. We knew that going into this. And I think the president's going to pay off on it.
All right. Adam, thank you for keeping your face basically straight during that entire thing. I give you the rest of the time of the segment. What is your case about the opportunity for Democrats? And I'll give you a hint. I think you've got a major opportunity that was just served up to you.
Yeah. First of all, it's weird to just say that the stock market is up so much when Donald Trump is the one who crashed it down to new lows because of the way that he handled this war. But also, the question that you asked was great because a lot of Democrats will relentlessly rail against Trump without proposing our own affirmative vision. So I think Democrats need to run on the most vicious anti-corruption campaign we've ever seen. I think we should run on closing the tax loopholes that billionaires take advantage of. That would get us an extra $1 trillion per year that we could use to lower the deficit. I mean, right now, something that I'm worried about is the growing debt. We pay $1 trillion per year just on the interest of our debt. And Ben Ferguson is laughing, but he's the type of person that's created this debt crisis.
You guys never cared about it when you were in charge. You had the House, Senate, and the White House. You guys exploded the national
Donald Trump is responsible.
Please run on that.
Donald Trump as an individual is responsible for 27% of the U.S. debt. No other president is even close to that.
So Joe Biden's responsible for how much? Barack Obama is responsible for how much? Please run on that.
That's way different than 27%. That's way different than 27%. Trump will be worth
So you don't know the number. Wait, you don't know the numbers? You only know the number that you hate Trump over.
It's 10 to 15%.
That's what you guys are running off.
Well, hold on. Ben, we all know that Trump has been one of the top spenders in history, and a big reason for it is the same reason for Biden. It was the pandemic. And you can argue that through. Let's do this. Do me a favor. If you guys can make time tomorrow, come back. Let's keep talking affordability because I really want to move the show in that direction. We got to get back home physically and politically. Adam, thank you. Ben, thank you. And again, I apologize to both of you. If you can do it tomorrow, it's on me. We'll be
At the start of the discussion, the first impression was how aggressively Ben Ferguson approached the exchange, because while Adam Mockler waited patiently for his turn to speak, Ferguson immediately began talking over him as soon as Mockler started responding, to the point where he did not even hear Mockler's point about the 10% figure regarding debt under Barack Obama and Joe Biden, as he was too busy interrupting instead of listening, and beyond that moment the broader takeaway. Aligned with Mockler's argument that Democrats cannot rely only on criticizing Donald Trump as corrupt or authoritarian, even if those claims are part of the debate, because they also need to present clear policies and solutions to voters, including a stronger focus on anti-corruption messaging, and if they were to regain control of Congress. The expectation would be for consistent oversight and investigations into alleged misconduct tied to Trump, his administration, and associates, although the likelihood of extreme legal outcomes remains uncertain, and the larger point remains that while ongoing investigations and accountability may continue for years with new details emerging over time, political success still depends on offering voters a forward-looking agenda rather than relying only on past criticisms, especially as the conversation risks becoming repetitive in a way that reduces its impact over time. The argument being made is that Democrats cannot keep relying only on calling Donald Trump a fascist and asking voters to support them simply because they are seen as the lesser option, because over time that message loses impact if it is not backed by clear policies. And the point raised is that they need to offer concrete proposals like expanding healthcare through Medicare and Medicaid, strengthening Social Security, making college more affordable, and supporting working families with childcare, especially in contrast to statements attributed to Trump, suggesting that many of these responsibilities should fall to individual states while federal priorities remain focused elsewhere. And the concern being highlighted is that voters are unlikely to forget major policy decisions or controversial actions, particularly those involving large spending or military engagement, while at the same time criticism is directed at Ben Ferguson for shifting the conversation toward comparisons with Joe Biden and Barack Obama instead of directly addressing those points, with Adam Mockler arguing that debates around national debt and policy outcomes should be discussed more directly rather than redirected through what is described as a pattern of deflection. He is not going to admit any of this, because his role in that moment is to go on Chris Cuomo's show and talk over Adam Mockler while Mockler is trying to present his points, with Ben Ferguson repeatedly falling back on responses like bringing up Barack Obama and Joe Biden instead of directly engaging, and the debate ultimately comes down to which side of that exchange feels more convincing, whether viewers agree with Ferguson's approach or with Mockler's argument that Donald Trump's policies and decisions have significantly increased national debt and could continue to do so, along with a broader point about what Democrats need to offer voters if they want to regain control of Congress and what actions they should take if they do. And in the end, it becomes a matter of perspective. For the audience watching the debate between Adam Mockler and Ben Ferguson on Chris Cuomo's platform, with the discussion likely to continue if future segments or follow-ups take place.